Welcome back to another review, this time for the anime Gnosia, which had 21 episodes and was airing from fall of 2025 to winter of 2026. Synopsis on any list. The story of Gnosia takes place on a ship drifting through space. Gnosia is an enemy that disguises itself as a human and attacks them. It is now on the spaceship, causing everyone on board to be suspicious of each other. The crew decides to vote on the most suspicious looking person every day and puts them into cold sleep. If the humans succeed in putting Gnosia to sleep, they will win. On the other hand, if they don't, everyone on board is in danger. The right decision must be made. No matter what decision is made by the main character, Yuri, she finds herself in a time loop that returns her to the first day of the crisis. Will the crew on board make the right decision? What is the secret behind the time loop? What secrets hide behind the faces of everyone on board? Gnosia begins now, a story of looping, fleeting moments that feel like an eternity but passes by in an instant. Have a pleasant journey. Okay, so I like the show quite a bit. I really like the show. This is essentially the social deduction game, Werewolf. If you have heard of that, I believe Town of Salem is similar, and Mafia. They all are similar in that vein. We are on a ship, and the ship got infiltrated by Gnosia. Now, every day the people on that ship vote one person into cold sleep. If they succeed in getting rid of all the Gnosia, they win. And everyone is safe. We can go on our journey. If they do not succeed in the night, essentially night, the Gnosia can choose one person to eradicate, therefore reducing the number of humans. If at any point the number of humans and Gnosia are the same, they take over the ship, they win. And then, this is not shown in the show, but in the game, they then go to the next station, dock there, and continue, eradicating more humans, attacking humans, essentially. Which is one of the parts. This is based on a game you can play on Steam. I don't know which of these two options for the story is better. I have no clue, because I did not get that far into the game. But the game does not have voiceover and does not have animation. Therefore, if you need more visual, then the anime is clearly the way to go. Again, story, I have no idea. Now, I do want to showcase a little bit of the visuals. So this is in the first episode. We have Setsu on the right and our main character, Yuri, on the left. I believe he's a guy. Don't know what the synopsis was saying there about her, but sure. So this is more or less the main room where we go and have this discussion. Who is going to be voted off? There we go. We zoom out. We have Rakio as a character. We have Gina. We have SQ. So we have these five people in the first episode. As you saw here in the picture, we have a big roster of people that is becoming relevant in a second. Now, I like the art style. I really like the character art style. I mean, SQ, a lot of color being used, which I really like. Everyone is distinct from one another. Everyone has a different style. Yeah, you see on SQ, she has her little tattoo. She has her fingernails differently colored. Gina is the most human looking, I would say, next to maybe Setsu. We have Rakio, who is very colorful. It looks like more or less feathers on the head, which is really nice. Everyone has a distinct style. what they look like, which is really, really nice to see visually. Additionally, because this is a deduction game or made from a deduction game, every character is different. Raku, as example, the feather-haired guy, he's very logical. He's going by logic, and that is what he's doing. He's not really good at, you know, getting people on his side, but he is pretty smart. On the other hand, SQ, she has a charm. She's able to get people on her side, but she's not as smart. So you have these different characters. You see a lot of the characters in here. We have some very crazy ideas of characters, which is very interesting. Each of them have their own past because this is a sci-fi version. Everyone is from a different place in the universe. So everyone has like a different upbringing, different reasons, different more or less employment, which is really nice. It makes for a very character-focused show. Now, you only saw 5 in the little clip, again, first episode that I showed you, because for some reason, Yuri, our main character, is looping. There are time shenanigans going on. Now, it gets a little bit over, it got a little bit over my head at some point, because, you know, the main story is about finding out why we are looping, what is going on behind the scenes, as we uncover more stories about the characters, about the different backgrounds, their personality. We slowly but surely figure more stuff out. What I really like about the show is, again, I did try the game for a bit. You can more or less figure out people, how they work, what their ticks are, essentially. You can also see some of the skills that the game has being used in the show without being overly put forward. In the game, it's like, I use skill X, and then stuff happens. But in the show, it is just being used in a conversation, which is very nice. And this is, again, I don't know about the story, but the game is pretty well adapted, I feel like. It is very nice. Again, it's because of the characters, we get their background, and you can slowly but surely figure characters out, how they work. You can start taking part in these meetings, more or less. You can pause, you can be like, okay, I see your reasoning, but what is this? What is that? Naturally, there are, if you know these social deduction games, there are not only Gnosia and humans, there are also other roles. And then it gets really interesting. Because naturally, the Gnosia, they can lie, they can manipulate, and then you get into these situations where you are like, okay, you need this whiteboard meme, you probably know, where you have all these red strings, and it's like, okay, if that is this and that is this, maybe we can't trust him, maybe we can trust her. It is something I really enjoy. I enjoy when a show allows me to more or less take part in it and try to figure out the mystery behind it as well, which not a lot of shows allow you to do that. At least not in a way that it takes a little bit of doing. There are a lot of shows that more or less give you the answer right out, which then it's not really enjoyable to find out the mystery. Really enjoy that. Again, the story went over my head at some point. I don't know. I mean, I can't really discuss the story too much because spoiler. But the 21 episodes I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed what they did. I will also continue playing the game and see what the story is on there. Maybe there are different endings, and this is the ending they chose for the anime. I don't really know. They could have probably even have a lot more episodes if they wanted, because it feels like some characters still have a lot more information to give about themselves, which would have been very interesting. But I am satisfied with the anime. So let's see ratings after all this yapping. AnyList has it at 78%. My anime list at 7.88. Interesting. Same rating. 13,000 people. So this is a solid rating. If whatever I'm saying you are not okay with, look at this. This is clearly everyone that watched it, or the average person, is like, hey, this is a good show. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I just like the show. I like the style. I like the characters. Again, the story a little bit over my head, but I just like a show that allows me to take part in the show instead of just being passively watching stuff and being showered by effects and action. I like to be able to pause and maybe suss out what is going to happen. And if I'm right, I'm getting this rush of a good feeling. If I'm wrong, then, you know, if it is done in a way like in the show is, where I'm like, oh, I did not consider that, then I'm getting excited again, because now I have a new piece of information I can use next time, which I feel the show does really well. Really enjoyed my time. Definitely recommend it. Maybe give the game a shot as well.